Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks to APRO and to George and Howard. Happy 49th. I guess if, as they say, if 50 is the new 40, 2010 should be a great year for the OEB. Howard talked a little bit about energy regulation and planning as well. I was asked to focus on the planning side of the equation, and I'll start off by saying first and foremost, I and the OPA certainly strongly believe that there's a lot of value in having a long-term energy plan. It can provide a blueprint for what needs to be done. It can certainly help us in making sure that Ontario has a reliable and sustainable supply of electricity well into the future. That is, in fact, the mandate of the Ontario Power Authority. As Howard said, plans can provide order and stability, and they can also provide a basis for immediate decisions that need to be made to develop our electricity system, but they can also present options for the medium term as well as preserve opportunities for the longer term. Obviously, long-term planning needs to be done in a way that can be revisited and updated on a regular basis to adapt to emerging circumstances, whether those are new knowledge that comes along, new opportunities or challenges, certainly new technologies, changes in economic realities. So the question really is, what is our plan going to look like going forward, and more importantly, what should it look like going forward? I certainly never escape one of these podiums without some kind of variation on that particular question. Howard touched on a little bit of the history of our Integrated Power System Plan, or the IPSP. That was the plan that we had submitted for regulatory review back in August of 2007. And as many of you will recall, just over a year ago, in September of 2008, we were actually in the early stages of that review at the OEB when the Minister of Energy and Infrastructure asked us to review specific parts of the plan to see whether we could not only review the conservation targets that we had in that plan, but look to whether we could accelerate them, as well as look at increasing the role of renewable energy in distributed generation, looking at transmission capacity in certain parts of the province, as well as enhancing our engagement with First Nations and the Métis communities, including looking at partnership opportunities in both the generation as well as transmission possibilities. Further along in the year, in May, the government passed the Green Energy and the Green Economy Act, which was designed to speed the development of renewable energy, again, accelerate conservation efforts and build the green economy. And the OPA is actually responsible for implementing key aspects of that act. Obviously, at the same time, concurrently, global economic crisis had an impact on all of that, meaning that you take all of those things into consideration, and over the course of the last 12 months, we've been actually continuously reviewing those developments and their impact on the system. Basically, we've been focusing on content, if you will. And we've been just recently been getting into some discussions with the ministry and the OEB on the more of the process and some of what that might look like in the way forward. In the meantime, I think it's really important to note that a lot of what was actually in that IPSP has already been accomplished in one way or another, and in many regards, the IPSP set out to accomplish a number of things and has managed to accomplish a number of things. A lot of what was in there is in the process of actually being implemented, sometimes under directives from the minister. So we've certainly made a lot of progress in the last 12 months on a number of key files affecting local areas. making good progress on a gas plant in the Northern York region, for example, the Southwest GTA, making significant progress with Hydro One related to the work that we've been doing jointly together to build out the transmission system and the work that's going to come. The Green Energy Act obviously also put an emphasis on conservation and renewable energy, and has kick-started a number of activities as well. So when you look at it, we're actually in pretty good shape. Our electricity supply has changed dramatically, and for today as well as for the next 5 years or so. We're certainly no longer in a position like we were in some of the recent summers. We're basically keeping our fingers crossed, hoping that really, the lights or more importantly, I guess, the air conditioners were going to stay on. And we're actually going to be okay. Our assessments are that we're going to be okay until 2014. And in fact, we actually are experiencing a new situation in that we have periods of surplus baseload generation. Now, we do know that that's obviously not going to last forever. We are eliminating coal entirely from our supply mix, and it's going to be gone by 2014. As well, a number of our plants are going to be reaching the end of their service lives. So where does that bring us to today in terms of planning? As we implement the various aspects of the Green Energy Act, we certainly obviously need to monitor the uptake of the feed-in tariff program. We're well into the launch period of what is North America's most comprehensive and first feed-in tariff program. What not everybody always realizes is it's an open-ended program. It doesn't have specific targets associated with it. And it also will result in increasingly more of an intermittent resource being incorporated into our supply mix. We're in a situation now where there are certainly going to be more players involved in different ways than they have in the past, whether they're homeowners or municipalities or community groups or LDCs. And we're actually going to have more data in different ways than we had before through smart meters and a variety of other information points. We're going to have to see how well we do on conservation targets, but under the Green Energy Act, the LDCs also have new responsibilities, and for the first time, they're going to have their own individual conservation target and responsibilities for putting together a portfolio of programs to achieve those targets. Still looking at the decision-making process around new nuclear. The pause button has been hit on that file for now, but we'll see where that one goes. And obviously, we're going to have to incorporate whatever kind of a carbon pricing regime comes to pass. And then obviously the economy, and not only how quickly it comes back, but in what form will the recovery take place, because that obviously has significant implications for demand forecasting. And then there are other new things coming our way, electrification of transit and vehicles and all the rest. So when you take all of those things into consideration, it really means that we're going to have to look at a range of scenarios, and not just a range of scenarios, but many more permutations and combinations than we have in the past, meaning that planning in the way forward is going to have to be even more dynamic and responsive and flexible than it has been in the past. Like the OEB, I think it's important to note that we're also being asked to consider new things. And for us, we've been asked to look at different societal objectives, if you will, than we have in the past. Job creation, economic prosperity, environmental sustainability, impacts on low-income people, those kind of things. So it's not just about supply reliability for us and low-cost electricity anymore. So where we're at, we've now got our 2010-2012 business plan. It's up on our website. I encourage you to have a look, because it'll give you a good indication of our priorities, obviously, for the next few years. But in closing, I think I really want to emphasize again that we really do see that there is a lot of value in having a long-term plan. And there's certainly a lot of value in having a regulatory process as well. And we're now at that point where we're trying to figure out how best to carry out the process and the way forward to accomplish a number of things. We're looking for value for ratepayers. We're looking for certainty for investors and the public. We're certainly looking for transparency in decision making, and we'd like to ensure as much stakeholder input as we can. So maybe I'll stop there and we can move into the discussion period. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Colin. Howard, Colin, thank you.